Boris Schlossberg, Managing Director at BK Asset Management.
BK Asset Management's Kathy Lien.
Boris Schlossberg.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. This is Kathy, and I would like to welcome all of you to our Monday game plan web live stream. If you can hear my voice and see me, please say and wave hello into the comments box. Let me know that my stream is going good. Say good morning. Happy Monday, Jeff, David, Denise. Good morning. I hope everyone had a very nice weekend. Good morning, Peter, Anchor, David. Yes, it is a wonderful day. I had a very nice weekend. My 7-year-old, my little one turned 7, and we had a nice, family celebration for him. The poor boy has broken his arm, so, no birthday parties, but we did have, a very, very nice time. So it was and the weather in New York, spring is here. It's beautiful. So, everything is good. Good morning, everyone. Joe, Alvin, Miss Actor, Nico. Okay. We had a little bit of a issue with the stream this morning, but I think all of that is fixed. So no worries on that front. And I'm glad everyone is here and chiming in. As I, wait for everyone to come in, I always like to get a sense of, what are you guys trading right now? Are you trading Forex? Are you trading gold? Are you trading indices? Type into the chat box. Let me know what you're trading so we can talk about it. So we can talk about, make sure we cover what you are interested in trading and make sure that, we don't miss out on any of that stuff. Also, so please let me know, what you're trading. Also, if you are brand new, you may know, I kick off the stream and I talk about what is expected this week. It's a huge week ahead. We have a lot of economic data that we've got to run through. So there's a lot to cover. But, it is also, there's a May Day holiday in Europe. So, you're going to be a little bit less liquidity. I think it's on Thursday. Am I looking at my calendar? Yeah, on Thursday. So, there's a lot going on to talk about. Looks like many of you trading gold, which is great. And so if you're joining us for the first time, I kind of kick everyone off. I talk about what's going on in the markets. I talk about what you need to watch. And then we go through some charts. And then Boris comes in and he live trades with you. And he'll be live trading indices and gold. So it's going to be a very, very rich session with a lot going on. So, definitely stay for the whole thing, because the live trading is a really big component of it as well. Okay, so wonderful. Many of you are trading Forex. And even if you're not trading Forex, if you're trading gold, you're trading indices, know that the big stories matter. Last Monday, if you joined me last Monday, we kicked off the week. And my big theme on Monday, and I hope that you guys took advantage of it, was that I talked about how there could be a dollar rally last week. And that's exactly what happened. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is not really just to pat myself on the back, but the reason why I bring this up is because the theme of our live stream is, prepare, learn, and trade, or learn, prepare, and trade. We want to make sure that we are prepared for every single thing that could be possible in this new trading week. Make sure, of course, there's always balls thrown in from left field that we have no idea with headline risk, but we need to be prepared for what is most likely going to happen. So this week, we have, a lot of US data. We have a lot of Eurozone data. We also have a central bank rate decision. We also have elections this week and also coming up next week from many corners of the world. So maybe the market will get more to focus on than just tariffs. Now, the tariffs are, certainly in the back, in the front, in the back of, the minds of investors and traders. Last week, the main theme is that President Trump seems to be softening his tone on the tariffs. Now, we had suggested that because, there was the Pope's funeral and maybe he would be a little bit more relaxed about some of these things and not try to stir up the pot. This week, it could still be much of the same. I mean, the markets have had a little bit of stability. Maybe he will have seen that his harsh words on tariffs have been punished the markets a lot, and maybe he wants to encourage a bit more stability. Now, I've often said that I cannot predict Trump, but I think that at least this week, I think that the softer stance on the tariffs should continue. And what I mean by that is that I don't think that he's going to punch back really hard this week and completely shift gears and say, 145% tariffs are back in and, announce more on top of it. It is more likely that, I'm just trying to figure out what's the date, because auto tariffs were supposed to kick in really soon. I forgot what the date it was, but I think it was supposed to kick in really soon. And this week, there's a possibility that he may also tone down the auto tariffs. So we take a step back. There's two possibilities that could happen this week at the tariff front that could support the markets. Number one, he could kind of maybe pare back some of the auto tariffs. And number two, don't forget, there's a lot of, intensive conversations being had with a lot of countries. And last week, it was kind of like they said that Vietnam and the U.S. said they were getting close to a trade deal. Maybe this week, Japan and the U.S. could be getting close to a trade deal. So trade negotiations are happening. And and if we get, even if it's a tiny country that agrees to another trade deal with the U.S. to reduce the tariffs, it creates hope in the market, which will hopefully create stability in stocks. Now, of course, China is the big kahuna, and they're playing tough. They are denying everything that Trump is saying with regards to the conversation. Trump is coming out and saying, I'm talking to Xi. We're having, I want to play nice. We're having good talks. China saying nothing is happening. It's all or nothing. and we're not they haven't talked to us at all. The market certainly seems to be believing China more than it is believing Trump. We can only imagine, why, but the market is certainly believing China right now, which is why, we're still seeing a lot of cautiousness in stocks. But that headline and that story will, of course, continue to be very, very important. So yes, this is all something that, we need to watch. But in my opinion, I think that this week we'll get more positive headlines on the trade front, and it will be much needed. It will be much needed because this week there are two pieces of data that are very, very important for the U.S. I want you to guess. What are the two pieces of data that U.S. dollar traders, or if you're trading anything, gold, indices, dollar, what are the two pieces of data that is the most important for the dollar this week? You're going to be my VIP if you're the first one to name both pieces of data. So the two trades that name both pieces of data. I know, okay, NFP is one, but you're my VIP if you name both pieces of data. Okay, let's see. GDP, all right. So Sam says NFPs, Andrew says GDP. We do not, have ISMs this week. We have actually no, I apologize. Of course we have ISM. We have ISM manufacturing, but not ISM services. Yes. So two most important pieces of data are NFP and from the US Primus, NFP and GDP. Now, normally we don't always focus on GDP, and we really don't always talk about it much, but we only really talk about it when it's what we call the advanced GDP, which is the first time we see the GDP report. So I'm going to pull up my calendar because I'm sure you guys are tired of just looking at my face. I'm going to pull up my calendar and just sort by the US data. Give me 1 second. I'm going to share with you my screen. All right, so these are the U.S. economic reports. And if for those of you that are not familiar, most of the calendars, they will have a color code. And the red is the most important releases. So JOLTS, Advanced GDP, ISM Manufacturing, and non-farm payrolls. The two most important, although, many of you are true too, like Trader Bryant is saying core PCE, FX Bazu is saying core PCE, someone else is saying inflation from other countries, ISM manufacturing, all of them are important. But the two most important will be the first one on Wednesday, which is the advanced GDP. This is the first time we get to see how things fared in the first quarter. And look at this. It's expected to be really ugly, from 2.4 down to 0.4%. And so this is a really bad number. And this is going to tell us, if it's 0.4%, it's going to tell us that the US economy slowed significantly to 0.4% before even the brunt of the tariffs hit. So that's pretty scary, I think, for market watchers and for anyone trading the markets. The second one down here is non-farm payrolls. Non-farm payrolls are also expected to be half the amount almost than the previous month. And I believe we click on this, let me just zoom in a little closer before I say what. So this is expected to be the weakest number since November of last year. So non-farm payrolls are expected to be very weak. So if you think about it, let's take a step back. All right, let's take a step back and let's see. JOLTS are expected to be weaker. Confidence most certainly is going to be weaker. Americans are definitely getting less confident. GDP is expected to be weaker. ISM manufacturing is expected to be weaker. Non-farm payrolls are expected to be weaker. So given that non-farm payrolls, ISM, GDP, PCE, everything I just mentioned is expected to be weaker. Do you think that this will be dollar bearish or dollar bullish? Take a wild guess. Give me a up or down, dollar up or down in the comments, because I love to make sure that you guys are paying attention in these pop quizzes. Let me know whether or not you are following along and get it. So let me know, dollar up or down. Based upon the economic reports that are coming out this week, do you think that it's going to be a bullish or a bearish week for the dollar? Java says down, Peter says down, Andrew says down, Mikhail says down, Halo says down. So yes, when we learn, prepare, and trade, we think about, what's on the calendar this week? What is the backdrop? And it seems like you guys are getting it. First off, there's a very good chance that we could get weaker U.S. data this week. And almost all the reports are expected to be weaker. But it's also important to realize that, first off, data has been consistently surprising, except for the confidence numbers, to the upside. They've been much stronger than we expected. So while we should be preparing for weaker data this week, do not be completely thrown off guard if they prove us wrong once again, that it will be stronger. So what does that mean for us as traders? So we see the calendar and we think, okay, most of the data is going to be weaker. So most of the data is going to be weaker, but there's room for surprise. We also know the US dollar is really oversold. We know that maybe there could be some trade deals that end up being positive for the dollar. So, that's a lot of mixed signals, right, Kathy? So what does that mean? That means me as a trader, I'm going to be leaning towards, you can see that I'm dollar neutral this week, but I am going to be leaning towards selling US dollars until I'm proven wrong. Meaning that until data actually surprises to the upside, because I'm going to, or Trump comes out, or there's a Trump administration comes out with some sort of trade agreement, I'm going to be leaning towards selling dollars. But whenever I have neutral on my heat map, that means that you've got to be flexible, Kathy. I'm going to be flexible. I'm going to be flexible to what my technical signals tell me. And if we look at the technical signals, not quite zip yet, but if we just look at, dollar yen, for example, I'm going to zoom out. If we just look at dollar yen, we remove all my indicators, we remove my drawing, you will see that everything still seems like it's basing. Dollar yen seems like it's finding support, although, there's a lot of resistance between 144 and 155. Euro dollar, similar story. Euro dollar still looks like it's kind of weak and wants to be rolling over. And we kind of see this trend in many of the major currencies, even Aussie dollar, lower highs, pound dollar a little less so. Dollar CAD definitely looks like it's kind of basing. So from a fundamental perspective, I am still going to be prepared and leaning towards weaker US data. But from a technical perspective and from a surprise perspective, I have to be flexible. And I have to be flexible to the possibility that maybe we get some data that surprises to the upside. So what does that mean for me as a trader? That means that I am going to be watching my technical signals. That, for example, dollar yen, for those of you that are just seeing my zip strategy for the first time, basically when the background is green and the currency pair is above the blue line, we're looking for opportunities to buy. If it's the background's red or the currency pair is below the blue line, we're looking for opportunities to sell. But look at this. Dollar yen looks like it wants to drop below the blue line. Looks like it wants to move into short-term sell zone territory. So when it does, that means that my technicals will be consistent with my fundamentals. So I'm going to be very careful because there's a lot of possibility of mixed signals. I'm going to be very careful to make sure that my technicals are aligned with my fundamentals. So I know that this may sound a little confusing, but the point I want to make is that US data this week will most likely be weaker. We're most likely going to see GDP growth slow. We're most likely to see non-farm payrolls growth slow. But these forecasts are pretty low, right? And so there's still a little bit of a room for a surprise. So I am going to be flexible, and I'm going to be looking to trade, both, depending upon what my technical signals tell us, and also reacting to the data. So I love to trade news. Many people don't trade news. We'll be trading non-farm payrolls with you on Friday. And if you traded news with us in the past, you will know that the way we trade news is that we always trade news reactively, meaning that we always wait for the number to come out and then we trade afterwards. So that will be the prime opportunities for GDP as well as non-farm payrolls. For my BK Traders members, that means that we're not going to trade like the morning of the US GDP report, but after the data comes out, we're going to be looking for opportunities, and the best opportunities will be coming out at the Asia session. Because with my ZIP strategy, I trade the New York session, I trade the Asia session. And so sometimes waiting for the dust to settle, waiting for the numbers to come out, and then waiting for the new sessions when we get the nicest, cleanest trades. So right now I'm neutral bearish dollars because the data tells me that the dollar should be weaker. But I'm neutral because technically the dollar looks like it's going to rally. Now, you will also see that I am neutral euros. Now, euro data has been really good. Last week, we had really good Eurozone IFO report. The PMIs weren't terrible. If you look last week, we had, the PMIs weren't terrible. There was just as many greens as there were reds. And then the IFO was also fairly good. This week, we have inflation data as well as GDP data from the Eurozone. Let me get rid of the dollar so we can look at this purely. So we have inflation data and we have GDP numbers. And we have German retail sales. We have German labor market numbers. We have a lot going on for the Eurozone as well. Inflation across the globe is on the rise. So the Euro inflation is probably going to be stronger as well. We know the PMIs have been stronger. But let me take a look at the GDP numbers. Look at this. German GDP is expected to go from minus 0.2% to 0.2%. So the GDP numbers from Germany are expected to be stronger. And then the Eurozone GDP numbers, Eurozone GDP numbers are going to expected to hold steady at 0.2%. So what I want you to do is I want you to look at also the inflation data expected to be stronger from 2.4 to 2.5. I want you to take a step back and think about this. We have most likely weaker US data, most likely stronger Eurozone data. So we have most likely weaker US data, most likely stronger Eurozone data. And last week we had better Eurozone data. This should be Euro bullish. But we've got to respect the technicals. Euro is still in the sell zone. These are sell signals for the euro dollar. If we look at the longer term charts, Euro is also in the sell zone. And that is why I'm neutral. Because fundamentally, the fact that it's hugging the 5 SMA looks like it wants to drop down to at least the 20 SMA. So technically, Euro still looks like it wants to fall. Fundamentally, it looks like the data is positive. So, but of course, the data could surprise it in the other direction. So because I'm neutral euros, it means I'm also going to be flexible to see, which way the data fares and what the technical signals are. I'll be flexible to take either trade. But I am more bullish euros than some of the other major currencies like sterling, like Aussie, like Kiwi. So this definitely, even though I think euro is going to fall, I think it could fall less than some of the other major currencies. I'm bearish pound. We don't have much in the way of UK data at all this week. Last week, we had weaker UK PMIs. This week, we had stronger retail sales numbers this morning. It's actually a very, very strong report. Part of the reason why sterling is that one of the best performing currencies this morning. We'll get to the yen, don't worry. And I'll get to your comments, and we're going to talk about the golds as well. But UK, nothing going on for UK this week. So really, the Bank of England is expected to cut interest rates in May. And so sterling is up today because the retail sales data was better. But I am bearish pounds. So right now, pound is rallying. I'm not going to be selling into strength at all. The way we combine fundamentals, you want to make sure that the fundamentals is in sync with the technicals. So you can see pound dollar is in my buy zone territory. Look at this. We have double zip buy signals. This is in the European session. So this is not as effective as our Asia session trades. So our New York session trades and our Asia session trades. So we get a zip buy signal, and it has a very nice continuation. Buy signals when we get the white candle and we have the background is green and it moves above the indicator line. So here we got a zip buy signal. So even though I'm bearish pounds, I'm not going to be looking to sell. Sell pounds unless it drops below the indicator line. So that's the British pound. With Australia, we're going to look at Australia and New Zealand together, because I can tell you that there's a lot more for Australia than there's New Zealand. Aussie and Kiwi are the proxies for Asia, just like the Japanese yen. And I started this conversation by talking about how the U.S. And China are have a very different perspective on how the trade negotiations are going. And the U.S. is saying that Trump is saying that he's having conversations with China. China is denying it. China is taking a hard stance. They're basically taking the approach of you roll back all the tariffs or none of it. Because even if you dropped everything maybe if you dropped it to 10%, China would be happy. But even if you dropped it from 145 to 75%, that's just not good enough in their eyes. So unless the trade talks go well, Aussie and Kiwi will both be under pressure. So this week, we don't really have not much from New Zealand. We have New Zealand business confidence numbers. We have New Zealand business building consents. But we have a lot from Australia. We have Australian CPI. Look, the quarterly number is expected to jump from 0.2 to 0.8. We have the trade data, which is expected to be much stronger. We have retail sales, which is expected to be much stronger as well. So we definitely could be in a situation where, I'm a neutral Aussie and neutral Kiwi, but we could definitely be in a situation where we can see outperformance in the Aussie, which is kind of what we're seeing right now. But, we still are hanging below the 200 SMA. And so we need to rise above this 200 SMA to open up the room to the downside. But I still think Aussie could outperform, especially Kiwi, which you can see is already rolling over. And Kiwi actually looks quite bearish. And so we get a dollar recovery, we could get more weakness in Kiwi than some of the other major currencies. Now we have an election in Canada today. And, Carney is still expected to get the most support. Federal election today. The Canadian dollar is pretty much flat. We have GDP report later this week. Really don't have much in Canada aside from the political factor. The GDP numbers will probably end up being weaker because trade and retail sales is weaker. I think for the most part, dollar CAD is showing signs of a bottom. So dollar CAD is showing signs of a bottom. And I don't think elections really don't matter too much. Dollar CAD showing signs of a bottom. I think we'll probably end up seeing dollar CAD around the 140 level by the end of this week. I think that there's definitely signs that it could move upwards rather than downwards. So if we think about, if there's a dollar rally, it definitely looks like dollar CAD, Kiwi dollar are the best ones to sell against the dollar. If there's a dollar sell-off, Euro, Aussie look like they're really good currencies to sell against. Now, some of you are asking about dollar yen. Dollar yen's rallying. Dollar yen is more the pure quintessential dollar trade. And, U.S. yields and the dollar continue to decouple from each other. We have a Bank of Japan rate decision this week. No rate hikes are expected from the Bank of Japan. And in fact, they're expected, because of the trade tensions, to cut their growth and inflation forecasts. So they're expected to cut their growth and inflation forecast, which means that we should, if that's what they do, we should see a sell-off in the Japanese yen, because this whole move in yen here is yen strength, and yen strength brings down inflation, and that is why they're going to cut the inflation forecast. They're going to cut their growth forecast because yen strength also hurts export demand. And of course, they've got, we've got all these tariffs, we've got all this global uncertainty. So there's plenty of reasons for the Bank of Japan to cut their growth forecast, to cut their inflation forecast. And all of that is probably going to drive dollar yen higher, in my opinion. But we'll have to see how the data from the US fares as well. But I do think that all of that is probably going to drive dollar yen, higher. So for those of you that are asking about the yen, that's basically, what I am looking forward to. So in terms of a snapshot of the data, I think we went through most of the data that we're looking at this week, but now we're going to look at it from a broad perspective. Sorry, where's the calendar? I'm going to change it to all. And I'm going to change this to 27 to 2. And okay. So, as I said, we have Canada's federal election. We have a bank holiday in Japan today. Tomorrow, we have some minor data in the morning from the Eurozone, but we do have the JOLTS data, which I think is going to be much weaker. We have consumer confidence, which I also think is going to be much weaker from the US. We have Japanese retail sales, which should be stronger, although industrial production activity will be weaker. Business confidence in New Zealand, I think, is going to be softer. Australian CPI tomorrow night is expected to be stronger. And then on Wednesday is when we get the GDP numbers from, the inflation data from Germany and the GDP numbers from Eurozone and Germany. So it's a big morning for the euro. We also get Canadian GDP, we get US GDP. So this Wednesday is a big day, all about growth. And I think the data is going to show Eurozone's got better growth than the US, but we'll have to see because 0.4 is a very low forecast, and forecasts really matter because it's all about the surprise element. Then we have the BOJ rate decision Wednesday night. No changes expected, but I think it's going to be yen bearish because I think the BOJ is going to cut their inflation and growth forecast. Thursday is a holiday for many countries, so Switzerland, Euro area, UK, maybe not UK, but for Euro area for sure. We have the U.S. jobless claims, ISM manufacturing data, all of which are expected to be weaker. And then we have retail sales from Australia as well. And then Friday's a big day. We have non-farm payrolls and Eurozone inflation data. And we're going to be live trading that with you. So make sure you join us on Thursday for the live trading session on that. Now, technically, as I said, Euro still looks like it's rolling over, but I think the fundamental support of rally, we'll have to see where the surprises are. We're going to remain flexible on this. Dollar yen shows signs of bottom, and I do think dollar yen could rally a little bit more. Dollar Swiss looking like a better sign of a bottom. I like dollar yen and dollar Swiss to the upside this week if the data isn't too bad. Dollar CAD definitely showing signs of a bottom as well, or near, I wouldn't say a full to long-term bottom, but definitely sort of a near-term bottom. Pound dollar still looking bullish. Aussie dollar, lower highs, but I think the fundamentals should be better. Kiwi looking bearish. This one looks like it's going to move to the downside. And then there's gold. Gold is back below the 5 SMA. I think it could fall, especially if the dollar recovers a bit more, especially if the markets stabilize a bit, down to 3,200. So that's what I think gold could do. But, I'm sure Boris will share more of his thoughts on that. Before I shift it over to Boris, let me see some questions I saw come through earlier. If tariffs things are good, then there will be risk off and gold will fall, not long term, the short term. If the tariff, if there are positive tariff headlines, I think that risk will rally and gold will fall. But if there are negative risk tariff headlines, of course, that could revive the rally in the gold. How does the white candle come in my zip setup? It comes when we get a move above the indicator line. I have videos. I'll post a link for our free community. Let me see if I can pop it up. I'm not logged into this computer. I don't know if it's going to remember. But we'll post a link to join our free community. But under learning, so I clicked on the learning tab. Under Forex Starter Course, Boris just added the link. I have videos on learn how the zip strategy works, what the white candle is and all the stuff like that. So I definitely encourage you to watch all of this. Kathy, for indices, do you have to check the earnings report? Sometimes, but not so much. I don't watch the earnings reports that much. I focus more on the US data. How long is the dollar yen rally expected to last? We'll have to see. You know, it really depends on the headlines. Depends on how things go. But you know, I'm not looking for a huge, significant long-term recovery. We'll have to see. I think that the dollar downtrend is more of a long-term trend than anything else. Any other questions? Boris, you want to join us? Say hello.
Hi
Boris?
guys, hi guys, hi guys, hi guys. Good morning, good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing? Are we good? Very, very excited to have us back. By the way, that join link is super valuable for you guys today. Hang on, let me just see if I can get, I think my lighting is just too harsh here. You know, see if I can minimize my lighting. Okay. So over the weekend, I completely rewrote all of the videos for BFF, which is the indicator that I trade, my tool set. And all of that is totally free in the day trading course for everybody to join. So just as Kathy has all of her strategy completely explained, mine is in beautiful 4K video, brand new charts, 5 new video sections in there. So go out there, go crazy, go join the community, go to the day trading course, and go straight down to the thing. Oh, what's happened to here? What's going on over here? What's going on over here? All right, you know what? Hang on. Let me see if I can get myself up here. What's going on? I think we lost a view here. Hang on a second. Let me just get bear with me a sec, guys. I want to go share window. Make sure you guys are here. All right. Everybody sees my window. Everybody sees me, right? We should be good to go. I don't know why we had views. Hang on. Let me do the proper view. I want to do this one, I think. This is the one I want. I want full visuals. So the link that I have on the screen, click it right now if you are not a member. And copy that link, send it to every one of your friends, get them in there. There is an amazing amount of free information, all sorts of videos, all sorts of postings, all for our community free. We are up to 4,000 people in less than 4 weeks without any kind of just word of mouth advertising. And, you know, hopefully we'll get it up to 10,000 by the summertime. There's a reason why everybody's joining, because it's a great community. It's got a tremendous amount of resources, and people who trade with us win. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today, how we're going to be trying to win our funding accounts. I'll tell you a little bit. You can see this is the account I started last week, 50,000. I need $900 to get this funded, right? The other account I started on Friday, not even, you know, last week, Friday. This one is already at 700. So I'm going to show you exactly what I do. This one is already funded at 150,000. I'm leaving it stationary until we fund all these other accounts, and then we'll just trade them all together on a funded basis. But I'll explain to you guys exactly what we do, how we do this, and you know, what makes our trading so much special, so much better than anything else. Okay, everybody sees the screens. Everybody's good, right? Give me a thumbs up. Is the range mode taken away from BFF, or is it renamed? It's kind of it's renamed. Anchor. There's no range mode anymore. It's simply trend, counter trend. The counter trend version is the one you're kind of probably looking for on the range mode. Go watch all the videos. I have I spent the whole weekend doing them. There's a reason why they're there. They're very, very explanatory. So any questions after you watch them, feel free to come get me. But otherwise, you guys should be able to see them all really, really well. So that's item number one, right? Galvin says, watch them. They were very, very good. Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. What is this? The Scalp Master? Yes, I am. The Scalp Master is here. Hi, Peter. How are you? What else is going on here? Any other questions? Okay, so we're all good. So I gotta tell you something. I'm, sort of. I posted this yesterday. Let me see if I can. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna go to my Twitter feed for a second, because first of all, there's a couple of really interesting stuff that I posted on Twitter. Those of you guys who want to follow me on Twitter, it's FX Flow. You can see it right in my thing. please go ahead and follow me. But what I want to show you on my Twitter feed here, blah, 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 blah. Oh, first of all, I know what I want to show you. First of all, I made a video this week that is on our YouTube channel, which is all about how to use ChatGPT to help you as a retail trader. This is using ChatGPT not to program, not to do anything complicated, not to do all the stuff that I do, but just to help you trade better. There are 3 ways that you can use ChatGPT to make you help trade better. The simplest, easiest, and some of the most effective way is just tell me what the fuck is going on. Like, this is just a simple example. This is tech week, right? There's a lot of tech earnings. Kathy was talking about, maybe we need to know earnings, maybe we don't. But it takes me 1 second to know exactly what the market is focusing on. And you bet your ass on the close of release of NASDAQ, those things are going to have an impact. So we know that Mr. Softy's coming out the 30th. Meta's coming out 30th. Apple is coming out May 1, which is May Day. Actually, it's interesting. Amazon's coming out May 1. Those are important numbers. It tells me exactly the EPS. This took me, no kidding, 3 seconds to do this, to have it go out there, find all the data, and present it to me in a nice, clean, beautiful, tabular format, which I now have. And I just posted this just as an example. There's 2 other really interesting best case examples that I use in this video. So go out there, watch the video, subscribe to the channel, send it to all your friends. I'm telling you, any one of your friends who trades, they will watch this video. I guarantee you, I'll make their life 1,000 times better because they'll finally realize I put the actual specific generic prompts that you want to use in the comments of that video. So you can just copy them, and they have like a little bracket where you could just simply substitute whatever it is that you're looking for. It's a variable bracket for you guys to do. So hopefully you guys really, really like it. And it's really fun, Yeah, thank you, Anil. Really, very cool. So that's item number 1, right? Which is that I posted this. But then the other thing I put on my feed that I thought was kind of interesting was, this was like fascinating. I read this article today that I can't believe this. Do you know that this is the statistic that just will blow your mind? Do you know that in the U.S. economy, corporations pay more money in regulatory compliance than they do in taxes? Like, that blew my mind. $2.2 trillion in regulatory compliance. Now, obviously you need some regulatory compliance, but that seems insane. I mean, we are just in a world of bureaucratic hegemony at this point. So I thought that was a really fascinating little item. But then finally, what I did put out, which is kind of interesting, is sort of my own weaknesses. I put out, what are your 3 worst trading traits? And I put mine in terms of the levels of severity. I love to pick tops and bottoms. You guys trade with me. You guys know that I love to pick tops and bottoms. I will do board trading. Like, if I don't have a setup, and a lot of times I'll say, let's try this because nothing is setting up. Error number 2 or citizen of number 2, and trading too big, which is actually, that one I have sort of gotten a lot better in handling. But, I'm interested, you guys post in comments, what are some of your greatest trading sins? Because it's kind of interesting. And I thought it was worthwhile checking this out. Anyways, that's my Twitter feed. Let's go back to charts. Any questions for me before we kind of get into the conversation and talk a little bit about scalping and anything else? David says, for indices, we should check the earnings reports and stock news. Yes, absolutely. So like NASDAQ is going to be driven by, Mr. Softy and Meta News. Absolutely. It's going to be driven by Amazon. Like the big tech is 30% of NASDAQ. You don't think that, their earnings numbers are going to have an impact? For sure, they're going to have an impact. So you need to be aware of that, especially last hour of the market, last hour before the earnings releases. All of that is very good. And you see how easy it is to pull that data from ChatGPT and do all that stuff. Anything else on your mind, guys? What's this? Exiting too early in profits and losses. Yes. Yes. Premature exits. Yes. It's a problem for us all there, E-Waste. It's a problem for us all. Yes, I understand. That's interesting. Yeah. I mean, put up your, your weakest, your greatest weaknesses, because I'll tell you why I think that's kind of interesting. it's sort of going to be the theme of my next video. I was watching Charlie Munger, and I knew who Charlie Munger was, of course. I never realized that, in a way, I think Charlie Munger is the real genius behind Berkshire Hathaway. I think he's smarter than Warren Buffett. At least his view on life was just an amazing amount of rich advice. So, loving the dots, help me a trail. Domo arigato. Loving the dots too. We're going to talk about dots. We actually have a dot. What time is it now? Was it 9:28? Oh, Kay left us early today, man. She did not like keep the show going. We haven't. It's not even market open. We have a red dot here. Counter trend trade. So we have a pivot, meaning that we went from green dots to red dots on NAS. So I'm just gonna actually start the first trade here with you guys on which account I want to go to. 52,000. Yeah, let's do that one. So I'm going to show you what I've been doing in terms of how I manage my size, structure, and turn. So a couple of things to say before this. First of all, this is a shitty trade. The trade is against trend. Trend is up, right? The much better trade is to trade the green dot up versus the red dot down, because this is a counter trend trade. But, I'm an inveterate counter trend trader, but I'm just telling you ahead of time, this is a shitty trade relative to the trades that I did today, which is just trading with the green dots. But that being said, 30 seconds to the clock, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sell this market, NASDAQ, right? Just put my stop like right above the highs over here, and do nothing right now until the clock closes at 0 seconds. If it closes at 0 seconds and I still have the red dot on the chart, meaning that it's still, still momentum down, I will add my second position to the trade. If it doesn't, if the dot goes away, I won't do a blessed thing. So 3, 2, 1, sell. I'm doing this also. Oh shit! Did this just go? Oh man, this went so fast. Okay, hang on a second. Okay, first of all, I want to move my stops just to control my risk. Then I'm going to move my targets, 25, 30. It's market open. I'm just trying to see if I could get some movement here on the open. 26, 33. All right. Fuck. Too early. Okay, I took it. All right, I took 33 on the trade. I could have taken more, but it's market open. This is just the classic, let me pull it down, pull it up. I didn't want to get stopped out unnecessarily. I knew this is going to be like a second or two of opportunity, and then after that, they're probably going to jerk me around, or they could push it really, really lower. Either way, the key thing that I wanted to kind of demonstrate, we'll do this over and over again, is I try to double up when the price confirms, and I try to stay the fuck out when the price doesn't. So like right now, we're going to go the other way. We're going to go completely the other way if this signal holds, which is right now, it's a green signal. It's actually a trend signal as well as a dot signal. The diamond tells you that it's a trend signal. 45 seconds on the clock. We don't do anything until 30 seconds passes. Then we're going to take first probative entry, and then if the thing holds, we'll add to that buy signal. Now, this presumably is the good trade. We'll see if that's true, but I'm going to go buy. Right now, I'm long this trade. I have my stop pretty much, in the right place. Target is sort of like 1-to-1. Fuck, I got to put my glasses on now. I can't see. So now I'm just waiting. I'm waiting to see if this green candle holds, and it doesn't. See, it totally faked me out. It was a total bullshit move, which is why I don't commit any more capital to this idea. And now it flips me out to the negative side. Now I'm gonna get stopped out. It's just a complete rug pull in the trades, which is happens. That's fine. If it rug pulls me, it rug pulls me. But this is market volatility in the first second of the open. It's always going to go both ways, right? So, I'm just long one trade. Underneath this is going to blow me out. It's going to blow me out. It's fine. But it's going to be one contract, not two. If this thing turns yellow or a yellow candle, green dot, and it closes this way, because I already have a position, they close this way, I'll add to the position. just watching this thing, seeing what they want to do. No, it's just the rule number one is never trade the open, which of course I violate. But I want to show you trades. I don't give a shit about whether I win or lose on these trades. I'll make them up in the next hour or so. But I want to. I don't have that much time to spend with you guys, so I want to show you the entries. This is going to blow me out. We're totally turning negative now. It's just a total fucking rug pull. Yeah, just and we're out of it. All right, got clipped on this one contract. Big reversal, by the way, from 67 to 10, 50-point reversal. Very likely it's going to continue. So we're going to go. Let's try it this way. Again, I'm doing stupid shit, but I just want to show you some fun idea. So does this stay red? Yes, I'm going to sell double. And now I'm just going to go short target to this. Let's see if this thing is going to just get me to target. I'll stay on stop. Come on, baby. Come on. Hit me. Come on. Nah, fuck. 51. Okay, auto-filled. Okay, very nice. So they faked me out one way, and I went the other way. You notice that when the red dots confirmed, this is by the way not my classic way of trading. I'm just extemporating with you, but showing you the art of, first of all, changing your mind. Very, very important. They pulled the rug underneath you. And especially when they flipped it over this badly, when it was like a 60-point move the other way, that's pretty much a good tell that they want to run the trade the other way. So when they closed it with a red dot, I just pressed into the position, gave myself a very short exit because again I'm now quite a lot of risk, and I want to resolve that risk, and basically just kind of come back on the loss that I made out there. So just a good example again. If you're wrong in your position, you eat it. If the position is working your way and is confirmed by dots, you add to it. It's just as simple as that. That's all we did here to make it viable. All right, let me see if I have any comments because I wasn't looking at the screen here. Question: how do you manage to put the trade for pre-existing that get plotted along the trade? Oh, I've shown this many times before. So hang on. Should we move the stop to entry when we have made some profit, but it's not hit? No, never. It's a guaranteed way to basically kiss your sister. What happens is you're gonna hit break even as a thing. I mean, don't ever listen to me saying never. I never do it. Let's just put it this way. I think that's going to be my whole answer to everything, is I never do it because I'm looking, generally, if you move your stop to break even, all you get is a break even stop. You need to give it room to go, and you need to, I prefer to just do a short target and get my target hit rather than screwing around and letting it go. But it's up to you. It all depends on what kind of a structure you like to trade. So whoever was asking me, how do I get this preset? I've shown this 1,000 times, and this is a good reason for you guys to come watch the day trading course, because you can see that in trading in Trade-Evade, and then also in wealth charts, once the wealth charts indicator is fully on there, you can preset your stops on the order. So like, for example, if I'm buying or selling, I just hit sell market, but I have a preset stop here with 100 tick, 200 ticks. These are actually shitty stops. This should be, this is too big. See, let me show you what I would actually do. On S&P, which I haven't traded much today, what you want to do is probably like, let's do this. We'll do 25 ticks. So these are just 25 target by 50 stop. And I'm going to do 25 25 by 50. These are just establishing brackets. That's all they are. They're just there to make sure that I have some risk and some reward in case there's massive volatility and I get either blown out or I make lots of money really, really fast. But then I obviously adjust them dynamically to the labels that are on the charts. So that's the, I put 25 to 50, 100 by 200, and probably, I guess 25 by 50 here. That would be a good one. So let's do the same thing. 25 ticks by, because we have a lot of volatility now, by 50, right? And I'll say, okay, and this will be 25, and this will be 50. Save, and now it's 25. So basically, every time I hit the buy or the sell button, that's what happens. Okay, that's how we go. Does that make sense? Is that easy to understand? Um, 370D is asking, should we add on the second dot that we also add on the third if it hits? Again, so that's a totally personal choice. So here's the thing with me. In the videos, I suggested the following dot strategy. I said, okay, first you're looking for a pivot. So let's just green goes to red, right? Great, fine. So you have red. This one actually would have probably stopped you out, but let's just imagine it didn't stop you out. I go, red, I short the red. That's like the classic recommendation that I say. Put a stop somewhere above. Let's imagine in our fairyland that this spike doesn't stop us out. And then you add after the second dot completes. Like that's the perfect, good structure, because then you have two positions, two dots, very, very likely some continuity, and really, really make some nice clean. Just conversely over here, you have a red dot to green dot. You have you add to the green, you take first position on the green dot, the second dot closes over here, you add to the second, you keep your stop underneath here, and boom, 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 you make a ton of money. And it all looks great on the charts. And if you have the patience of a saint, and you can do that, and there's a lot of people in the room who do that really, really well, you can milk that to heart's content. Sweetwater does this with gold all day long, any day, and he just trades this, this kind of a trend continuity, follow the dots, very, very patient, blah, blah, blah. I have zero patience. Like I literally have zero patience. So my variant and what you see me doing here is the first. What I do is I take 30 seconds before the candle closes as my probative entry, and then if this closes, I just come in and pile in, and then that's it. And then because I know I have a highly addictive personality, and because I know that once I go one dot, two dots, three dots, it's like potato chips. I'll freaking eat them all until I hit a stop. I force myself now. By the way, definitely a nice pivot trade here. We got 30 seconds. Ooh, big reversal now. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, this is going to be a massive, massive candle. So we got to just be careful. Not careful, but just be cognizant of the fact that this is going to be a big candle. Okay, 30 seconds in, I'm going to buy this. And then if it stays, I'm going to try and I made doubling up on this candle is going to be probably not. I think I'm just going to take one candle on this, because this is a huge $50, $60 risk here. It's a lot of risk. So I'm just going to buy this. I guess I'll buy it right now. And since it's a big risk and I'm not really going to do that much, I'm just going to put a short target on this thing, and let's see if it does its thing. I am kind of tempted to plow in as a second trade, because usually these kind of continuity, these big breakout candles do have some continuity, but I'll have to eat it like a $200 loss if it doesn't work. But what the hell? Boom. Now we're long two, and I'm going to bring this one over here, and let's see if we can just get this done. Okay, and we just got inside. Again, when you saw me, this is my kind of classic trade, which is I see the opportunity, I'm going to pounce the fuck out of it, take my short target, get out. The proper way to trade this is nice and casual. Take one trade, let this relax. If the second green, you may retrace against you quite a lot, then come back and give you a second green candle, and you take that, you take second dot, and then you manage that for like 100 points, and you're a superstar, and you made $200 on a trade, and my hat is off to you. If you have the patience, the ability, the psychological composition to do that shit, you're my guest. You know, as you can see, I like to hit them hard, get them on the ground, and never let them get up. You know, just take my money and run. So that's what I did here. I just took it, added up, boom, took a short target, and got myself out. The net result is I'm always going to be exiting early, but generally I'm going to be escaping with a profit. You know, there's always a trade-off two ways. Need to follow. Yeah, the single most important, honestly, the single most important question as a trader that you want to ask yourself isn't what is my strategy, what is my instrument, what is my tool. Those are all really important questions. You know, do I like to trend or counter trend? None of those are nearly as important as am I patient or am I impatient? Because that's really like the fundamental driving force of what you do. You know, that's why like so many strategies. Like look at this fucking thing. This thing just went up 100 points, right? And nothing I love to say. Look, you could have taken this trade. You made 100 points. Yeah, if you had the fucking personality for it. I don't. You know, that's the thing that, I mean, I hope you guys like that about this. The stream is that I'm just kind of totally honest with you. I give you the tools to make 200 points, 300 points on a trade. I don't have the personality to use those tools the way I give them to you, but you do. A lot of guys in my room are killing it doing it this way. So it's really, really important to understand, like, are you patient or impatient? Because I think when you see a lot of these strategies that people give you, they assume that you're this one type of personality. And then you're like, how come this doesn't work for me? Because it's never going to work for you. You know, you have to do something that's going to work for you. That's the key to, to good trading. You guys agree? Do we agree? All right, let me put a link to my friends at Apex. Let you guys know. Hang on a second. Let me. You know what? I want to. Let me see if I can just put this up. Hang on, just 1 second. Okay, I just put this up here. I'm going to put the link in here for just 1 second, then we'll go back to the charts. This is the deal that we made with Wealth Charts, which I'm going to extend. And the deal basically is you get everything. By the way, just sort of let you guys know, one of my other projects, which is a pain in the ass, God, I hate doing this, but I am doing it for you guys. We're moving all of our courses, all of the big ass courses that are sitting on LearnWorlds, the bootcamp course, the Forex fundamental course, all of that. I am moving all of it into our community. So everything now will be within the community, all of it mobile. If you bought the course, you're going to have it forever within our community, right? So part of the whole thing is if you get the bundle, you're going to get the Kathy's fund, which is really good. I was actually just, as I was moving it, I was watching it. I was like, shit, this is a really good course. Her fundamental course, all of that in there. Go out there. I just had a couple of more buyers come in today. My deal stands, although it's going to be modified. Now I'm going to buy you three Apex 50K accounts free. I will buy them for you. You do this deal, I will get them 3 free accounts for you for free. That deal holds until it doesn't. So go out there. If you're new and you want to get involved with us, this is literally the best deal. You get 6 months of my coaching, 6 months of everything. You get all the indicators and the courses. All right. So that's my one pitch to you guys today. Where's my chart? Here we go. Okay. Remove, add the chart. Okay. Here's the chart. So yeah, back to the idea of, patience, impatience. I'm actually curious. Let's do a little test. Let's do a little poll here today. Start a poll. Be honest. Okay. Poll is very simple. Everybody answer the poll today. Are you patient, impatient? Number one question as a personality type. So yeah, sorry. There was a D that was asking me, what if we have 4 dots in a row, then comes a natural green buy signal? Should we take the buy signal? You won't ever get green dots in a row and a buy. You're going to get green dots, red dot, buy signal. You see this? Green dots, red dot, buy signal. Yes. Buy signal. Yes. These are all, transitional buy signals. Those are good. You want to take those. Generally, my other great sin of life is that I love to pick tops and bottoms, but I literally ran through. I mean, I'll go through this with you guys if you want. It's a little quiet right now, so we don't have any signals. I'll show you how if you trade trend, you're literally like 8 out of 10, versus if you're trading counter trend, it's like 5 out of 10 in terms of stuff. Yeah, gold is selling off. I'm just kind of, I'm trying to focusing on NASDAQ right now, but happy to look at gold. Gold is, what's gold doing? All right. I mean, gold is breaking the thing. I mean, should we take the gold? We could. So we can do the same thing with gold if we want to. Let's have a little bit of fun with gold here. So we're going to take gold 30 seconds into the clock. If this thing, we're going to sell it, right? Sell it. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. This is why I hate guys. I hate you guys. I hate you guys making me do gold. I hit the wrong button. Fuck. Son of a bitch. I hit the large button. Fuck. All right. That cost me so much money for no reason at all because I wasn't paying attention. I told you guys, I really want to focus on just one fucking product. I don't give a shit about gold. Fuck! You guys really fucked me up today. Thank you. Okay. All right. That's my fault. Not anybody else's fault. Just my own fault. I hit the wrong button here. But that happens all the time. All right. I'm going to have to make this back. I don't like trading gold. I'm just going to I'm not going to trade gold with you guys. I like trading NASDAQ. You see me winning on NASDAQ. See, I missed the opportunity on NASDAQ here. This was a short NASDAQ that we could have taken. Let's just do one thing at a time, guys. I'm going to do my thing and fuck gold for the time being. God damn it. Okay, I don't give a shit. I'm just comments on gold. You guys trade gold your way. I'm gonna have to. I'm just gonna trade NASDAQ. All right. Sorry, I'm just. It's annoying to me because it's a completely unnecessary loss. All right, I'm watching gold here. I'm watching NASDAQ here. This was a clean turn trade. We could have done $30, $40 on this trade with no problems. Now we don't have anything. So what I was going to say is trend by far is the best trade on the turn, on the dot turn. So if you're trading trend, you have a winner here, loser here, but winner here, winner here, winner here. Anytime you go from red to green, most of them are going to be winners. This was a winner. When you go from red, from green to red, not always. Although this is starting to turn a little bit here to the downside as a counter trend trade. All right, we'll sell it a little bit here. All right, I'm making a rule right now. I'm really making a rule for a whole working week. I will only trade gold in Asia when I'm trading CFDs. I'm not trading gold on futures at all. And now I'm, we're getting a reversal. I'm actually getting a buy signal in NASDAQ if this thing goes green. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you exactly how I handle this kind of wrong trades. If this thing stays green 30 seconds into the close, we'll see. It may not. It may revert. If this thing stays green, I'm going to reverse myself big time. And you're going to see, hopefully, how I can recover and P&L this whole scalp. Because the true scalp was over here. I'm a little bit late on the scalp, right? And now it looks like, it's kind of like building a green trade. So at 30 seconds plus, I'm going to just basically assume this is a green trade. I'm going to get myself out of my short trade. If it holds. Now, if it doesn't hold, then the short trade's still viable. All right, still viable. You know what? I'm just going to exit the short trade, and let's just watch it, because none of this is a good setup. Let's just see if there is a trend trade to be taken. Great. If there isn't, fuck it. We just missed this opportunity. The trade should have been here, right over here for me. So there's no reason for me to just take it over here. I'm just going to get out. I got out of it and trade it, flat. Yellow candle is a trend signal, BFF trend signal. Yellow candle is always a strategy signal, whether it's a turn signal or a trend signal. The trend is denoted by a diamond. The turn is denoted by a triangle. Okay, watching NAS. So, all right, gold is positive bid, meaning that it's, blue is above red, kind of like, hit a lot of resistance at 310 level. But if I get a green dot here, it's a legit trade. It's a legit trade. NAS is kind of unwinding its move here. So, this is NAS rally. This NAS rally running out of steam here. Do we come down below? Basically, so if this thing comes down below, we start going negative bid. We're going to start looking for negative trend idea. If it finds support here again, starts to re-rally, we'll look for the green dots. Here's the gold and a green dot here. We're going to buy it here. If it stays green on the close, we'll add to it. Nope, doesn't stay. Doesn't stay. Gold just fucks me royally every time. Just going to put my exit over here. Stop is underneath this red candle. Let's see if this comes up. NASDAQ still playing around on the short side. Gold dicking around. Again, this was a single entry trade because there was no green dot. There's no confirmation. So gold is still dicking around. Oh, why is this? Why am I long two? Why am I long two on gold? God damn it. I really don't know what the fuck I'm doing on gold here. How did this come up with two? Ah, fuck me. Gold is really going to kill me. I fucking hate this product so much. How did I hit two? See what NASDAQ is doing. NASDAQ is really starting to come down. Risk selling off all across the board. I don't know why gold. I don't know what the arrows are, Greg. Are you on 3.0? There should be no errors. So your chart should be just like mine. If it's not like mine, you don't have the right chart. It should be multi-strategy 3.0. That's what it should be saying. If it's not saying that, update the chart, delete it and reapply it, and then you'll have a new chart. So NAS is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3 consecutive red dots, just selling off really, really hard. Gold is printing possibly it just for a second there, it printed a buy signal, but we'll see. I thought I saw it. All right, gold. I blew myself out of gold, and now it's giving like a legit buy signal. Sorry, I missed it. It was really super fast. That was super fast. Whatever. Okay, fuck gold. It is what it is. That trade definitely was workable there. I just did not trade it well. Yeah, I double clicked on gold. Yeah, both trades were within a second of each other. You're right, because I wasn't paying attention. Kathy worked at a bank. I worked at brokers, and honestly, none of this stuff really matters. One of the things I think the retail traders have an obsession with is institutional traders. I want to trade like an institutional trader. First of all, you don't want to trade like an institutional trader because you have a huge advantage over institutional traders. They got to move 10 million, 20 million, 30 million. Every time they enter the market, they're the market. They move the market. So they have slippage costs that you can't even imagine, right? Secondly, they're really not looking. I mean, some do look at a lot of technicals. When I was market making, a lot of market makers used to look at technicals, but market making is really not the art of like what you think the market is going to do. It's what your customers are doing and how you could facilitate your customers. In terms of making sure that you can make money off your customers while the inventory in the product. Generally, like prop, traders and banks are trading information flow. They're like, this guy is buying, so I'm going to piggyback on him. This guy is selling, I want to piggyback on him. I mean, Kathy has this Kathy has a really famous story where she used to trade with this one woman from UK who is just notorious piggybacker. Where if the customer would call and say, I have a yard of pound to sell, and before they would facilitate the sale, she'd put like finger up, and all the market makers would know on all the prop traders on the desk would know. Oh, there's a yard of pound selling, and they would just pound the bids on pound and front run the move. So a lot of what institutional traders do on a very short term basis is just front running, which is something you can't do, and that used to be done on the exchange as well. A lot. So it doesn't matter. People always get upset. Oh, it's cheating. It's this. It's not. You just have to learn how to trade differently that incorporates that information, because whatever they're going to do, they're going to leave their footprints on the charts. And if you read them properly, you'll be able to take advantage of it. I don't have any disability or any handicap being a retail trader. In fact, I have, I think, much greater flexibility being a retail trader than being an institutional one, and I don't have any informational deficiency. I can pretty much see, and you can see when news hits, and you can see how prices trade. There's very, very little that institutional traders have now in terms of advantage, that you don't have. Yeah, Ankur, so here right now we're still positive bid right on NASDAQ, and we could trade this. How much would we have? 23 seconds left. So we'll take one. And if this red dot holds, I'll add to the position, right? Just to see if I could get a quick move to the upside. I have 5 seconds left. I actually went a little bit early because I thought the clock was over. So now I'm like long 2. I'm going to put myself over here, see if I could get this move up a little bit on the jerk move up. Fuck. Come on. And try to get the second one done. All right, second one done. And see, I got myself back up. Okay, so the gold fuck up cost me $200, right? Now, I could have made more, but you see how just sticking to my strategy, like today is a really, really good day, really, really good day for you guys to see me trade. Not because, we made huge amounts of money. We actually just basically broke even, but it's precisely because we broke even. I'll tell you why that's so good. Because winning is fucking easy. Losing is idiotic, as always. But coming back from losses is the only real skill in trading, right? If your strategy, when you fucking focus, can bring you back from losses, that's your only true edge in the market. And I think people just, you only realize that after you've traded for a very, very long time, that the single most important part of a strategy isn't that it's winning, but that it's recovery mode. Can it recover? So today was a really good example of me fucking up and recovering. That is the most important skill in trading. So if patience and patience is the most important personality trait you want to check yourself for, it's the recovery function that matters much, much more than whether you hit 10 trades in a row. Good job, my friend. You're a straight A student. I'll bitch slap you into reality in 5 seconds flat and make you lose all your money in the next trade, which is what happens a lot to people who get super, super arrogant about the market. You lost 7 trades in a row and you came back to being flat. You're my guy. You're the guy that will win in the long run. So that's sort of like the thought you want to have, Oh no, Christopher! I was yelling at you because I should have been yelling at me. It's my fault. You were just simply pointing out the gold. I said to myself today, I don't want to deal with gold, because just fucking no. You didn't cost me. You didn't even cost me a fortune, my friend. You see, none of this, even in the worst case scenario, it was a couple $100 loss. It was nothing. We came back, right? Remember, we're trying to make $300 to $500 a day, which, as you can see, we're moving towards that direction. As I said, this account just started like 3 days ago. We're at 52. We're hopefully at worst by the end of this week, we'll get this one funded. We'll get the other one funded. And then we'll have 3 nice funded. Then Wealth Charts is going to hopefully have the the new indicator will trade wealth charts, maybe even as early as as the end of this week. And well, then we have all of those funded accounts, and we'll trade them live. So don't worry about it. No, I was yelling at myself. I'm sorry. I lose my temper all the time, but don't take it personally. God knows Kathy never takes it personally. So pyramid trading, yes, but pyramid trading only in the right way, Tommy. Like it's been so hard for me. Like, Soros and Druckenmiller were like masters at this. Like, if you look at how Soros and Druckenmiller traded, there's a little bit of a red signal here. But I'm gonna pass up this NASDAQ. But I was gonna say, if you look what made Soros and Druckenmiller such titans of trading, is that they were wrong all the time and they couldn't give a shit, because what they did is they piled into the trade when they were right. And I could never, like in the past, given my personality trading, given the way I trade, ever figure out how to do that properly. And for every impatient gal and guy out there who never has the personality trait of slowly adding up to the position, this is the best way to do it. This is the way to do it. So hopefully you guys like it, because it's pyramiding in the right way. It's not adding to losers, it's adding to winners, which has never been a skill I've been able to accomplish. And I think, we're finally getting a clue of that. And you see how fast that helps you to recover, So, so that's it. That's it. Yep. 300 to 500 a day. That's all we do. Anyways, guys, I got to run. What time is it? Oh, it's literally, okay. We got like five more minutes. It's fine. Any last questions? Let's see what the poll said. I'm actually curious. Where's my poll? Did the poll go through? Did the poll not? Where's my poll? Maybe I didn't put the poll through. Huh. I don't know why. All right, we'll do it tomorrow. No biggie. We'll do it tomorrow. Anyways, type in the comments, patient or impatient. I'm curious to know. So last thing I wanted to show you, just kind of like let's do this on a replay basis. Just I want to show you just what you should be doing versus what a lot of us are doing. So let's take a look at this. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, usually my wake up time. I'm looking at the charts. What's the first thing I see? We're positive bid, blue above red. We're positive trend. What should I be doing? I should be looking for red to green dots. I should only be looking for positive flip dots. So let's just see. I'm going to do red to green dots. Do I have anything? Here's one. I take this one, I add this one, boom, we're winners, right? We're winners, right? Blah, blah, blah. Now I have let me see. This is 76. Yeah, it's very, very small. I'll say I did actually make it. Now I have a reversal move. So I short this, and I'm looking for continuity to the downside. Does this work? No, it doesn't. Well, no, it does. Okay, so the in this case, the reversal works. But still, I should be orienting myself, I think, positive bid. So I'm positive bid over here, 62. What happens next? Boom, boom, boom. We're winners, right? Now I get short. This short actually also works a little bit. Not as much, though. Not a lot of continuity. Now I get back again. Like every red to green works really, really nicely. Every green to red is a little problematic. So here's red to green. Does it go? Yeah, it pops me up. I survived the stop over here regardless, and it comes back up, and we pop up, right? Okay, so now let's just, again, I'm green over here, red to green, boom, winner. That's like 4 winners in a row without me stressing myself out. Another red to green, I get long here, 501. What happens here? What happens? I get up to 538. Look how easy it is. Like, the point is, I make it unnecessarily hard. I think many of us make it necessary by looking for turns. You don't need to look for turns. If the trend is relatively continuous, and this has been a trend for 2 or 3 hours, if the trend is ahead of you is good for 2 or 3 hours, you are guaranteed to make money buying the positive turn. Guaranteed to make money. Like, there's no way to lose money not buying positive turn, right? So boom, boom, boom. This one wins. This is the first one that loses. This is like the first out of 7 trades where you get clipped out. a little bit. And, even then, you come back here, the next cycle, you're positive, makes money, 6:30 in the morning, right? Now we're, again, green trade, takes me up, right? Boom, 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 boom. And that is the story of our life if we stay on trend. That's just kind of what I wanted to show you. If you have any sense of confidence that whatever trend you're in is going to stay for the next hour or two, you're virtually guaranteed to buy the positive turn or sell the negative turn when you have it. I jumped into the trade just as Jifa was saying. Okay, we'll post the poll tomorrow. Sorry, yeah, I obviously get distracted like with shiny new objects. But anyways, guys, fun session today, right? It was a lot of fun session because first of all, you saw that the positive pyramiding, and which I really like. By the way, who said that to me? Tommy, I'm going to use that in my next video. I'm stealing that idea, positive pyramiding, because that's really what it's all about. We came back. So I'll trade a little bit for the rest of the day if I have time. I'll let you guys know how it goes. But overall, I love it. I love the new structure. I love the dot structure. I hope you guys like it too. Go, everybody, join the community to see all of the strategies described and discussed in great detail right over here. And go with my friends at Apex, get a discount with them if you want the prop account. Or if you want to get into BK, I'll buy you 3 free props. 3 free prop accounts on me if you come in with this deal. So I'm giving you this deal. Go out there. Be my friends, okay? I'll see everybody tomorrow for regular trade. And then we're going to do a Tuesday night, Wednesday night. We're also going to do CFD trades if you want to join me for Asia, okay? Everybody have a great night, great day. Enjoy. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks again for everything. Take care.